Everybody, welcome to MD Power Hour. Wow, what a show this week. We are coming down to the wire for Olympia qualifications this weekend, Friday and Saturday in Irving, Texas. We have the third annual Texas Pro. Going to be a really good one. Going to talk about today with my man here in the UK, Giles Tiger Thomas. How are you doing today, Giles?
I'm doing very well, Ron. I think apart from the Arnold Classic back in March, I think this is the most exciting show I'm the most excited for.
Yeah, so for the USA, this is the second to last chance to qualify for the Olympia. So, people are taking kind of a chance, leaving it toward the last couple of shows because there's not a lot of opportunities. And once they're gone, the Legion is the last show. There's a show in Europe the next day that's not even a qualifier. It's a qualifier for 2024. So I think there's two more European shows or three more European shows.
There's Italy, Spain, France.
Oh,
that's three I know of. And then
yeah.
obviously we've got Romania, and then we've got Prague.
Yeah, those aren't qualifiers though. So the only ones you can qualify for the
Next.
Olympia, Masters Olympia, I keep forgetting that is a qualifier for the Olympia. If you win your division to Masters Olympia, you're qualified for the Olympia, which is that's fine.
Yep.
But yeah, this is so let's get right to it. This is the big, I don't want to say rematch because it's not like Hunter and Andrew Jack have had these epic battles before. They were at the Olympia last year. They were close. They were seventh and eighth place, Hunter and Andrew, but neither one of them was at their best. Andrew was sick. Hunter was off. So this is a good chance because we saw Hunter a couple weeks ago winning Tampa, looking fantastic. Andrew, I'm still not sure. A lot of times I see his updates. I'm not that impressed by what I see in the updates. I'm more impressed what he brings to the stage. Personally, I don't know if you feel the opposite way, but uh, it's going to be him. But then there's this wild card, Carlos Thomas Jr. Never seen him on stage. I've actually never seen him compete. I wasn't there at nationals. I've been around him many times. He's got that crazy round, full Phil Heath type of muscularity to him. Question though, have you seen any back shots? Because everyone's still talking about his back.
I looked at a video because I was editing Global yesterday, doing all the
Yeah.
pre-edits, and I found a video, I think, on his Instagram. And there's he's posing, but he's kind of in the distance, and he actually hits a readable bicep.
Oh, what do
So
you
I
think?
did look. It looks okay. It looks good. It didn't blow me away, but
Mm,
everyone has their strong poses and weak poses.
right.
We saw the lat spread in the guest posing. It looked pretty good to me.
Yeah.
So we haven't got like a Gary Stridham situation. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Where he looks
Yes.
great from the front and the side, and it's like, oh shit. There's just nothing going on from the back. There is something going on from the back. I don't think he's a Phil Heath from the back, but from the front and the side, I mean, is there anybody that has better shape or thickness than this guy? But thing is, with Carlos, we've not seen him in condition yet. We've not seen him in pro level conditioning yet. So for me, um, if it's a lot of what ifs, but if he
Yeah.
brings better conditioning than he's ever brought, because I know he's got that just
Ulcerative colitis. Ulcerative
yeah, and he
colitis.
made him pull out of the New York. Was it New York Pro he pulled out of?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of what ifs and a lot of obstacles he's going to have to overcome to be really competitive in this show. But let's just say, let's look on the best case scenario. He has actually fixed that. He's fixed the back shots. Then I think he could be pulling a big upset in this show.
Yeah. And you know what? If he gets beat by Hunter and Andrew in his pro debut, Hunter
Yeah.
Labrada has been a top four Olympia. Andrew's someone a lot of people talk about as being a future Mr. Olympia. There'd be no shame in losing to those men. But if he beats both of them, wow, his stock is going to go through the
Oh,
roof.
Rod, I got a shiver then when you said that, because it's like, it could happen. It could happen. We don't know what he's going to bring. I mean, he could just show up and everybody just goes, oh my God, game over. Because, I mean, even a couple of years ago, was it 2019 at the Arnold? And he came up and him and his dad came and spoke to us. So he was a lot smaller. I remember just looking at his arms and his legs, and it's just, and he's got twice as big since then. And he's got a good shape as well. I mean, do you see that post I put on MD's Instagram?
Yeah, he
Front
looks.
double bicep. I said, is this the best front double bicep in the industry right now in the pro league? Because I can't think of anyone. And everyone was like, oh, it's condition, it's condition. And I was like, yeah, I know that, but actually look at the pose itself. Not talk about the conditioning. I'm talking about what happens when he lifts his arms up and he hits a frontal bicep. Because I'm telling you what, I can't think of anyone that is more impressive in that pose in particular.
Yeah, Kim Williams is kind of close in that one pose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so but I see
You know,
similarities, but like I
you
said,
know,
it's what the back shots, say contest, one from the back, the snap. It's all the different poses. It's a total package. You're looking at everything.
yeah.
The question: how much better can Hunter get in 2 weeks? Do you think he was 100% peaked in Tampa?
He was pretty damn it. I mean, I thought he looked a bit flat at the pre-judging, but I think he peaked pretty well. I think he's going to struggle to just duplicate that, because he was crisp, he was separated, he was dry, because we've always seen him a little bit watery at the Olympias. I mean, the time I saw him anyway, last year, certainly. But I definitely think this was the best condition Hunter I'd ever seen at Tampa. So I think he's just managed. I think he's just coasting now, because I don't think he can get any sharper. I'm not sure. Maybe come a little bit fuller, but then again, if you push the fullness, you're going to maybe sacrifice the conditioning. So with Hunter, I mean, I think, to be honest, I kind of respect him for doing this show, but I kind of think he's a bit crazy, because I do think he's going to get beat by Andrew. If Andrew brings 90% of what he brought at the Arnold Classic, I think Andrew's going to beat him here. So I think but then again, I don't know.
I have to stop. I have to stop and remind all the Andrew fans. Listen to what he just said. All you people who call Giles an Andrew Jack hater, play that part back over and over again. He just said you believe he will beat Hunter. So thank you. So I just had to throw that out there, because I know they love to dig on you in the comments.
I do. I think Andrew's a level above now, regardless of what happened at Olympia last year. For me, in my mind, where I see the rankings, I do see Andrew as a. But then again, Hunter, is probably going to look as good as at Tampa in terms of conditioning, which he's really started to nail now. Andrew, I'm just hoping that he looks as good as he did as day one of the Arnold Classic back in March, because that for me was the best look he'd ever brought. And like I said, that big argument I had with Milos, that was I thought that was good enough to win the Arnold Classic, but then obviously Samson got better on the second day and Andrew kind of faded it and it flip-flopped. Nick kind of got caught in the middle there. But yeah, so I'm Team Andrew. I'm Team Andrew for this one. I think if he brings, I think he's smart enough to know, because the thing is, he's got to qualify. And I think he knows, and I don't think he probably wants to do it. I mean, he's done the Arnold Classic, he's doing this one, and if he doesn't win this one, he has to go to Legion and say, well, he's probably going to win Legion, but if he didn't win Legion, they have to come to Europe, and then, I mean, it's probably, and we can't have him not at the Olympia, one of these big names. So I think he's smart enough to know that he has to bring his best for this. And plus he's the defending champ at the show as well, so there is that as well. So there's always that bit of confidence and pride when you go into a show that you've already won and you're the defending champion. So I think Andrew's like Hunter is just getting better and better with time, and I think because of Andrew's age, I think he knows he's kind of he hasn't got a lot of time to kind of really take years off and 6 months off and this like that. So and I think he needs to win this, because I want to see him in the top 5 at the Olympia this year.
Yeah. Just to remind people, just like we say, Hunter is undefeated except for the Olympias. He's got 3 pro wins and he's done 3 Olympias. He hasn't won the Olympia, obviously, but Andrew, same.
Tampa.
That's right. So yeah, 3 shows. Andrew's got 2 wins. He's only been a pro since March of 2022. Yeah. So he won Texas, he won the Arnold UK, and the only shows he hasn't won were the Olympia and then this past Arnold. But like I said, first night of the Arnold, it was looking like, wow, I think Andrew might have this. So yeah, you never know. And this is a one-day show, so we don't have that issue that we're running into.
I hope Milos isn't watching this, otherwise I'm going to get more abuse.
Wow. Question for you, though. You've been following Andrew's updates. Do you see improvements to the posterior chain development that we're looking for?
He's not showing anything, is he?
Not really.
I've not seen anything. He's staying covered up. He's either got a vest on or he's got his baggies on. So I've not seen any updates in the last few months that would indicate, that would indicate that he's actually made any improvements in those areas. I hope he has, because if you think about how he's improved since the Arnold Classic, the amateur back in 2022, I mean, he's almost up there in terms of improvements like Samson. In rate of improvement, he's really, I mean, if you actually go back and look at those Arnold Classic amateur pictures and compare them to now, like if you get the photos on Saturday and then compare them to these, you'll probably think it's like 5 years apart, but it's not. It's only like what, a year and a half, 2 year and a half.
And his conditioning, I still haven't seen him in that perfect conditioning, but the conditioning where he turned pro was, awful compared to what we've seen the last once he finally got to the pro shows. He fixed that. It's funny that we keep talking about the backs, because Hunter's got a good back, but none of these guys has like oh my God, look at that back. They don't have that type of back. So I don't see it coming to a decision where the judges are going to go, well, they're all pretty good, but so and so's got this crazy back. We'll just give it to him. They don't have these meetings, guys. I'm just making that up. But It'd be very interesting because, like you said, Andrew is the Carlos. We haven't seen a ton of back shots, but Andrew, I haven't really seen. He does the posing. He does the posing in the gym with his shorts on and stuff, but don't see a lot of back shots. But you know what? He's 6'2". His shoulders are about 1,000 feet wide, little tiny waist. It's like when he came out last year at the Texas Pro, just that structure and his stature were just so impressive. Right. The minute he walked out there, you're like, oh, there's your winner right there. I don't think it's going to be that simple this year. I think Hunter's going to give him a really good run. I think Carlos is going to give him a really good run. I think those three are going to get worked crazy by the
Yeah.
head judge. It's going to be
Ron,
everyone's going to be in the center. It'll be the last call out. Well, I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I could see that as the last call out. Those three guys, and they just put everyone in the center and they run them through the poses over and over and over again.
Ron, this is one show I would love to be attending.
Yeah.
I really would, just to see those three, and also the guy we're going to be talking about in the 212.
Yeah,
absolutely blown my socks off.
Yeah, before we proceed, I do want to say Freddie Nadeau and I think it's Sheila. I think it's
Sheila
spelled
Brown.
like Sheila. How do you say it?
I just say Sheila.
I say Sheila. I think it is pronounced Sheila. Freddie and Sheila do a tremendous job. All the information, guys, on the schedule, the pay-per-view, battleupproductions.com. It's a 2-day show, Friday and Saturday. Yeah, just a couple more guys I want to mention. The Open. Lewis Breed from the UK. Up until a month ago, or 6 weeks, I never heard of this guy in my life. But you've had him on Global now a couple times. He's growing on me. I still don't think he's got the prettiest physique, but you know what? Not all the physiques I've admired and looked up to over the years have been pretty. This guy is stacked with muscle. Tampa Pro, he showed up with crazy condition, loads of thick, dense, strided muscle, and third place at the Tampa Pro. So I fully expect him to be in the first call out here.
Yeah, I could see him. I messaged his girlfriend messaged me, and I didn't know it was his girlfriend, and she said, "Wait, how do you have the Texas and Lewis?" And I just said, "Well, I've probably got him around about fourth place." And she's like, "Oh, I'll take it, thanks."
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, so and I'd be interesting to see if the thing is, if Carlos really doesn't bring the conditioning, there's every opportunity that someone like Lewis could beat. Because you've got someone that's in pro level condition and someone that isn't, but actually arguably has a better, bigger physique. Then it comes down to what the judges judge upon, and Lewis could potentially beat Carlos. But I don't see that happening. I think the top three is pretty much. I've got Andrew first, Hunter second, Carlos third, Lewis fourth, and then we can talk about the rest.
You've called the last couple of shows the placings perfectly. So Mystic Tiger, he's I wouldn't bet against him. We also have Roy Evans Jr. again. Roy is hitting a bunch of shows this past few weeks, past couple months. Beautiful physique, former classic guy. I said last time, I still think he needs a little bit more mass if he wants to really compare to the guys who are going to be in the first callouts, because it's open bodybuilding. He came from classic. He's definitely put some good mass on. He's got that beautiful shape and symmetry and flow. I think a little more mass would help him out, but he's got an amazing physique.
I was super impressed with what he brought to the Tampa. And he's been tagging me into stuff today, actually. I think I'm going to contact him. I think I'd like to try and get him on Global next week. Because he gave me a really good interview actually a couple of years ago. You know, those guys you just know nothing about, and you just literally, first time you get on the screen, the first time you actually physically speak to them, and they give you like absolute gold, So I think I'd like to get him on again and reconnect, because I think it's worthy of the acknowledgement of his improvements that he's made to his physique. I mean, if you go back and look at those back shots for the Tampa, I was like, wow. Yes, he does need more size, but the shape and the tie-ins and the flow and the lines of his physique, he's managed to add size and in fact accentuate those lines, not actually kind of take them away. Like with some people, when they get big, they put 10 pound or 15 pound on, they actually get less shapely. He's got more shapely. So I think he's doing it the right way. I think he's doing it in a nice, steady way, and I expect great conditioning. And also, I really liked his color as well. He had a fantastic color and sheen and stuff. Looked really, under those great lights, and like the Texas has good lighting as well. He's going to look absolutely sensational.
Yeah, I love the lighting at that show. Production value is just, it's funny. When I was at the show toward the end of the night last year, Sheila and Freddie, the show was over. They were like basically cleaning up and stuff, but they got a message from, I think it was Jim Mannion. And this was the point system was still in place last year. And they said, you guys have been upgraded to a tier 2 show.
Wow.
Which was on par with, Chicago Pro, Tampa Pro, all this. After that was only their second year promoting it. But
incredible.
when they bring the, I'm not saying if, when they bring the point system back, I think they're going to get that tier two show reinstatement.
Yeah.
Another last guy I want to talk about in open, just because I'm a quad freak. I love seeing these crazy, freaky Tom Platts, Paul DeMeo, Jonathan Withers, who won the NPC Nationals overall a couple years ago. Good physique, great. But this quads in particular, for those of you who just love the freaky aspects and you enjoy seeing some crazy freaky body parts, keep an eye out for Jonathan Withers and his quads. They are just ridiculous. Yeah, you've seen him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, I've had him on Global a couple of years ago. Yeah, really, really fantastic. Because he pulled out of the show earlier in the year, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to. He pulled out of the show. He's supposed to do his pro debut there, and he pulled out. I forget the reason why now. It was a few months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, another one I'm looking forward to seeing as well. I think he could be a sort of a top six guy as well. And I think if he makes his top six in his pro debut in a show this good, this standard, then I think he's going to do really, really well. But like you said, like the upper body's good, but that lower body is something else.
All right. 212 division, Keon Pearson, the prodigy. Wow. Keon, we have this MD group chat on WhatsApp, and we've been sharing videos and pictures because he's freaking us out. Keon just, I was writing my Olympia preview. Only 2018 was his first Olympia as a classic physique competitor. He was 23 years old at the time, and he was 180 pounds. And I don't know what he weighs. He's being coached by Patrick Tour.
Yeah.
Tuor, not Tour, everybody. But Keon has put on about 20 pounds, 25 pounds, and on his frame and with his shape and those tiny joints and those full muscle bellies, we're already talking. He hasn't even he hasn't even qualified for the Olympia because he was sixth last year. But we're already talking about this is the guy that's probably going to push Sean Clarita to the brink at the Olympia, which for a guy that's not even qualified, it wasn't even top five last year. It's very unusual for us to be that complimentary of somebody.
I actually think am I more excited about seeing Keon than even Carlos this year or Andrew at this show, because he did that rear relax where he kind of just walked up. My God, that kid has made some improvements. And when he guest posed a couple of months ago, he's kind of got not far off the mass of a Sean Clarita, but he's actually got a better shape. So I think he is gonna. I don't see him beating Clarita this year, but I do see him being like second or third, because I just don't think there's anyone with that amount of mass and beautiful lines and shape that's actually out there in the 212 right now. I think he's so good. I think he's leveled up, and I think he's going to absolutely. I think he'll be possibly he could be the star of this show. And you've got Andrew, Hunter, and Carlos, there, and Jonathan Withers and guys like that, and Lewis, so. For me, for in a show this stacked in the open, for a 212 to potentially be the actual talk of the show, which I think it could be, I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing Keon, because he's really, really knuckled down and he's really made some improvements. Patrick, I've spoke to Patrick about him a few times, and Patrick's just continually blown away with what he's done. So he's going to win this easy, 100%.
He's in a great spot. He's living in Texas now. He's working with Patrick, and I'm seeing condition on him that better than anything he's ever brought to the stage.
Ron, sorry to interrupt. Even 8-9 weeks out, it was better condition we've ever seen from him before.
Yeah, so
like he had shredded glutes 8 weeks out, like 9 weeks out.
Please don't nothing go wrong. Everything, please just bring that to the stage, Keon. Please, please, please.
Yeah.
Waiting. A couple other really good guys. So we got Noel Adame in the show. Noel was the winner. He's won the New York Pro before. He's won a bunch of shows. Noel was the guy that did not make weight, but that was a couple days before the show. He was in New Jersey for New York Pro a couple months back. He knew at some point, a couple days out from the show, there was no way he was going to make 212, so he didn't even compete. And I was really bummed about it. He should have done the open. He should have just done the open, but he's here. Noel Adame, originally from Mexico, living in Texas now, just like Keon. But Noel's very good. I see him obviously in that first call out with Keon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Noel's really, really good. He's won quite a few shows, and he won the Indy. Was it won the Indy a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Yeah. He's really good. He's really good. I like his physique, but he's not. I'm sorry, but he is not going to touch Keon.
Keon's looking crazy, but and another guy, Charles Curtis, you pointed out. Charles is also very, very good. It's just, I don't want to downplay how good these other guys are, but Keon is just, everyone's excited to see Keon.
Yeah.
This is, he's somebody that we've been watching for years, a few years, and he's still a young guy. This could be the show where we finally say, okay, now he's ready to take his rightful place fighting for the Olympia titles like he really should have been. But I mean, goodness, he was fourth place in his first Olympian Classic when he was just a pup. He didn't even know what he was doing back then.
Natural, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Nobody believed it, but well, I mean, it should be fairly obvious because when he finally went over to the dark side, as we say,
8 weeks.
boom, he blew up. It was a night and day. He looked like somebody stuck an air hose in him.
8 weeks between the Arnold and the New York Pro, and then he went and did 212 in the New York Pro, and it was like, it didn't even look like the same guy. It's like when Kai Green from 2006 to 2007 went from, was it 15th to 6th or something in the New York Pro, because that later that year he started using stuff, you know. But yeah, he's sensational, and yeah. Also, rumor is he's a very conservative user as well, so that's probably why his body looks so fresh and so responsive, because he does it properly.
There are conservative users out there, guys. It happens. Yeah. I know everybody wants to believe they're on all, they're not all on what you think they are, guys. It's some of them they respond very well to much more moderate doses. Some of you guys complaining about the high doses, you're on more than they are.
Ron, I'm not at liberty to divulge, but I do have it written down, and I believe it. I believe it because but obviously I would never reveal that because obviously that was said privately. No. But very, 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 very conservative, and but like when someone's that was already that good natural, you know, when they add a little bit, they just hyper respond. You know, it stands to reason. The receptors are wide open, and they you know how these things really work. So you know, there you go.
Yeah. So let's get into Classic because there's going to be a very exciting rematch here. 2 years ago at the first edition of the Texas Pro, Logan Franklin, who's from Texas, we just had him on MD cover. I should have had it next to me, but it's downstairs. So Logan was supposed to win that show, heavy favorite, because he had already won a couple of shows, and he was someone who was being talked about as a threat to Bumstead and everything. But Robert Timms shows up. Robert Timms from Arizona. And I remember everyone saying, this guy's way too big for Classic. How does he make the weight, this and that? But Rob Timms, and they were also saying, well, his legs don't quite match up. But let me tell you, Robert Timms looked phenomenal. And he's been working for the past couple of years, bringing his legs up. That's going to be a very exciting matchup between Logan and Robert. And I don't know who's going to come out on top. I'm a huge fan of Logan's physique, but Robert looks very, very good too.
Didn't Robert win last year?
No, 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago. Yeah, because I remember seeing the videos. I remember using them in Global. Yeah. I'm more team, I don't know. Logan's more classic, but for me, Robert Timms is more impressive. So it depends. It could go either way. And obviously, don't forget, Logan, he was at the Olympia, but he had to pull out, didn't he?
Yes. And I believe he's coaching himself now.
What? Oh, no.
Yeah. No, well, look at his updates. He looks pretty damn good.
No, I'm sorry. Remember what happened? You told me when you said Blessing was prepping himself?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it does work out successfully for some people. Obviously, people.
Who? Tell me one.
Oh, within the last 30 years, you mean? Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
Seriously,
who
one.
Did it? Was it Martin or something? Fitzwater coached himself one time. I don't know. It hasn't been that many. Yeah, obviously coaches are the standard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, after that experience with the Olympia last year, I think Logan just wanted to see what he could do on his own and not rely on somebody else. And he feels awful because we haven't seen him on stage since he qualified for the 22 Olympia by winning the Sean Ray Hawaiian Classic in November of 2021.
Wow.
So we have not seen Logan in a very long time on stage. He's had a lot of time to improve.
Well, I interviewed him at the the Olympia back in December at the Meet the Olympians on the Thursday, and we did it live. And then obviously he didn't show up because I was like, well, where the hell's Logan? Remember, he was like, he didn't show up, you know. But you know, he got sick or whatever. But which must have been really devastating for him and upsetting, you know, because imagine getting to the Olympia and getting that far and then not being able to make it on stage. That must be devastating. So I'd be really happy if he won this because it would get him, you know, obviously it's you know what this industry is like, it moves so fast. So I really, really hope he's looking good. If he's prepping himself then and looks good, then I hope it sends out a really good message as well.
100%. And last but not least, I want to mention Robert Waterhouse from the UK because I already apologized on one of the lives, but somebody had asked me about him while I was reviewing something, and I sort of dismissed. I said, "Oh, he's okay," but I wasn't really thinking. I was thinking, I had like 10 different thoughts going through my head at the same time. But he's actually very good, Robert Waterhouse.
Yeah, very good.
So, I don't see him necessarily beating Logan or Robert, but man, I see him in that first call out and really representing UK well and doing his thing. So
Yeah,
good
he
luck.
went from like 14th or something to third, didn't he, at Tampa over in 2 years?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
he's
really
up
good.
on
Well, lovely physique, lovely physique.
he's on the rise. We
Yeah.
don't usually talk about any other divisions, but just real quickly, women's physique. I'm sorry, we forgot to mention Francisco Barrios. Is he an open or 212?
He's 212.
212. Francisco Barrios. He's from Spain, I believe.
Argentina, I think.
Argentina. So he's a Patrick Tour client.
Yeah,
We had seen him, I think he was in the Amateur Olympia when we first saw him a few
that's
years
right.
back.
Yep.
And we called him I think his nickname is the Kid. He was like 21 years old at the time. He's
Yeah.
still very, very young.
Baby face,
Uh,
isn't
like baby face, he still looks very young, but he's made a lot of good improvements. So we wish him well in the 212. It's
he?
going
Yeah.
to be a great show. And if he could get top 5 in this show with Keon and Noel and Charles, that's an accomplishment. But I'm looking forward to seeing him. So women's physique, couple big names here. Ivy Rain, she's won a bunch of shows, and Elisa Kiesling, the classical queen, she's back.
Oh
And
wow.
remember, this is a show where women's physique, two-time women's physique Olympia champion Sarah Villegas, she donates a substantial chunk of money. I want to say it's like $5,000 or $10,000. I know I should know the dollar amount. It's a big chunk of money. It's at least five. It might be $10,000 to the women's physique winner on top of what they're already being paid by the promoters. So it's basically, I think she doubles their prize money, and they
Wow.
get this beautiful big bronze statuette of her and her signature pose. So,
Mhm.
props to Sarah because she's still competing. She's still an active competitor. Usually, when people do things like this, like Sean Ray did the posing awards and got the money arranged for that. Usually, when they're long retired, you don't typically see someone still actively competing, doing great things for other women in the division. So props to her.
And she's done it a few times now. She didn't just do it once as a bit of virtue signaling. She's done it several times. No, she's done it a few times
Yeah.
now. And she's putting money where her mouth is. And I really respect that.
And figure, I saw this name on the list and I said, oh, well, there you go. Jessica Reyes Padilla. Congratulations, Jessica. So,
Yeah, well done, well done.
yeah, I mean, somebody could come along and beat her. You never know, but she's just so damn good. Has she been second at the Olympia now?
She was second last year, and she's doing the
Second last
Masters
year.
Olympia in 2 weeks.
Wow. So there you go. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I'm surprised more people from the Masters Olympia aren't jumping into this show. But yeah, I mean,
Well, 2 weeks. What was it really going to prove? I suppose, unless
yeah.
I mean, Jessica's got a chance of winning this, obviously. So, she's obviously it's going to be a nice, easy win for her. Hopefully, if she's second, ranked number 2 in the world currently.
Oh yeah. To let people know the schedule, this is a 2-day show, just like Tampa was. So Friday is going to be all about figure, classic physique, bikini, men's physique, wellness, and 212. That's going to happen you're going to have to do some time conversion, folks. It's 9 a.m. in Texas, so it's going to be 10 a.m. for me. And oh boy, I'm terrible at math. 10 plus
3
5,
p.m. for me.
3 p.m. for you. And then the finals are going to be at 6 p.m. for me, 5 p.m. Texas, 6 p.m. for me, 11 o'clock for you.
Mm-hmm.
Go to bed. Don't worry. I'll tell you the next day if Keon won.
I will.
Saturday is going to be just 2 divisions, women physique and open bodybuilding. Obviously, that's the main event. 12 noon Texas for the judging, 7 p.m. Texas for the finals. Battle Up Productions for all the info. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one because the outcome of this show is gonna answer a lot of questions. The Hunter versus Andrew thing. Do you find it kind of funny that the Hunter fans and the Andrew fans have set up this sort of rivalry between those two, and I've never heard either one of them really talk about the other one that much?
Not really. It's like you've got number 7 and number 8 at last year's Olympia. You've got, 2 guys that have kind of equal levels, I suppose. If you look in terms of rankings, if you want to rank everyone in the pro league, they'd be kind of like right next to each other, only a few spots away from each other. So yes, I do see. Because I think they're the kind of the obvious top 2, really. Like I said, unless Carlos really brings something that we don't expect to see, So yeah, a lot of good storylines here, a lot of good good things to sort of follow here. But I think it's going to be a very, very exciting show.
The storyline, Andrew, obviously the defending champ of the show, and Hunter, born and bred in Texas. He's got that hometown pride, really something to prove. And he's already qualified for the Olympia. He's really,
Yeah.
I would say he's got nothing to lose, but I guess if he loses to Andrew, people are going to say, well, now Andrew's better than you, or Andrew's going to do better than you at the Olympia. So, yeah, very, very interesting to see how this turns out.
Yeah. I think I can't wait. I can't wait.
So, I'll be doing live updates after the judging on both days and after the finals, give you the results, guys. I try to jump on there immediately after the show's over. But for the pay-per-view, go to battleupproductions.com. Yeah. Any other odds and ends? What's going on with your Mr. Womble face? You have a hedgehog living in your backyard now.
Yeah, I haven't seen for a few days because I haven't been out. I've just been because I'm still not 100%. I'm still I had like a bit of a stomach virus thing last week and everything, and it's still kind of hanging on me a little bit. I'm just kind of struggling to just get through each day at the moment. So, and I've been watching a lot of UFO programs, and it's kind of if I go outside, I'm not looking in the garden, I'm looking up. It does send you loopy. I'm driving Lauren completely nuts with it. I've really got. I mean, she's really clocked up some chick flick hours, which I have to kind of now repay. You know, because I'm sat there, I was like, oh, can we just watch a bit more? Watch a bit more. Yeah. And she's like, I want to watch this. I'm like, oh, please get on. So I think there's going to be a couple of nights where I'm watching Miss Congeniality 2 and pageant films and
the Notebook. You have to watch The Notebook.
Oh yeah, she's mentioned that. Yeah.
She might drag you to. Do you have to go see Barbie? You might have to go see Barbie.
Oh, she went to see it. Thank God, she hated it.
It was awful. I saw it a few days ago.
You saw it? Why would you go and see that rubbish?
Not on my own. It was the night my daughter came back from Miami, so it was a big family dinner with the cousins,
okay.
And it's almost all women, so they all want to go see Barbie. So we had dinner right next to the theater, and then we went into the theater.
I heard it's like real, like there's too much like just woke bullshit in it, and they're trying to like really like very anti-men and all this nonsense. Like look, it's Barbie. We want to see. What was your verdict?
Yeah, they were trying to get too many like socio-political messages across. Yeah. It was very woke against toxic masculinity, but they were trying to do it in a whimsical way, trying to wrap it in comedy, and it just boring. I don't know. I can't believe this movie has made $1 billion. It's made $1 billion.
I know, because people go with their daughters and watch this shit.
Dude, I mean, to think that none of the Marvel movies, I think it's made more than any of the Marvel movies at this point.
Oh no, it breaks my heart. Have you seen did you see Oppenheimer?
No. Is that good?
It's good, but it's like 2 films. It's very long. Like when the bomb goes off, like there's another like hour after it. And I love Christopher Nolan films. I think he's an absolute genius, but even I was struggling in there for nearly 3 hours. It was a very good film, and there was so much dialogue and there's so much packed into it. I mean, they had to have the best actors because there was so much dialogue. I mean, I can imagine them like reading their scripts every day, having cold sweats. Do you know what I mean? But it was good, but bloody hell, it's long. I mean, it's definitely something you'd probably want to get on a stream or something and watch at home in a couple of bars. Because in one go in the cinema, I mean, it was a freaking nightmare. I mean, but it was good. But like I said, I mean, a lot of people, everyone found it far too long.
Fair enough. Just to wrap it up with the UFO discussion, have you been following in the USA?
Yes.
This is like all our news. They're declassifying documents, and officials are coming out saying, yeah, we've recovered at least. When are they going to show us the damn aliens and UFOs? And what is taking so long?
Well, do you know that Nixon in the 60s or 70s? 70s, yeah. He employed this writer to do a UFO documentary. He basically commissioned it himself. And the guy said no first. And he said, well, look, we've got some actual official footage, some government footage of a UFO landing in a government airbase. We've got it, and you can basically use that to draw people in, and you can build your documentary around it. And then right before it happened, apparently Watergate happened, and they had the documentary nearly all filmed, and they said, sorry, we're going to withdraw the film now. We're not going to let you use it. So back in the 70s, they said they had footage. They said, Nixon said, look, that's what he used to draw him in with, and he said, yeah, you can have it. And then Watergate happened, and then but like I've been watching all this stuff, all the ones in the UK as well, the Rendlesham. Oh my God, it is like when you're not feeling too good and your energy's low and you just want to it's like it's a bit and all the ancient Mayans and all that, and the pictures of the staff gods and all that. It's like Saturday. I nearly went crazy watching far too much of it.
Oh, you know, we can hope that very soon they're going to parade some aliens and ships out for us to look at and investigate and poke. And yeah, because all this footage is cool, but it's all kind of the same. It's all, you know, a little grainy and things are moving,
Yeah.
lights moving fast. I still have yet to see any footage. I'm a believer anyway. You don't have to convince me, but I want to see like, you know, 4K footage of just every little detail of the ships. I want aliens. I want to see all that stuff. So
Well,
let's see. Let's see.
and also these Men in Black as well that seem to appear every single time. Like they come on, like they come on these the Navy ships when they see the stuff out in the oceans and everything. And the Men in Black show up and they're bossing around all the superiors and they're not showing any ID and they're saying, look, you know, you'll disappear if you talk about this. And you know, there's this. It's really like Project Blue Book stuff and all that. And it's like I think I need to back away for a little bit because it's got me a little bit seriously. Stuff like that can actually, I think, can send you a little bit crazy. And I think maybe there is a reason why the government does actually sort of maybe keep stuff from us because I mean, it's like I'm going to see Jake Wood in a couple of weeks in Romania at the Masters Olympia, and I want to hear about the Phoenix incident, Phoenix Lights. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, was he there?
Well, he's from Phoenix, isn't he?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, so that was the giant triangular
Yeah, yeah,
lights. It was the size of like a couple football fields, I believe, and
yeah.
it was
Low.
witnessed by thousands and thousands of people. Tons of people got footage of it, pictures, video. So yeah, oh, I'm a
But I
huge
find it
fan.
hard though in the nowadays when we've got we've got iPhone 14s and stuff that we
Yeah.
could like if I saw something now I could literally film that and but then we've got such good like CGI things on our phones that we can use and it's like I don't know
AI.
I don't know I don't
Yeah.
know but there's a Roswell there's like a Roswell one in Essex they've got this old manor house and it's all cordoned off now and apparently there's all these underground two or three floors underground massive stretches for miles
Oh,
and
wow.
apparently that's where they've got all the crashed spaceships and all the aliens.
I knew it.
I
Hangar
love it.
18.
Rob, I love
Hangar.
it. I love it. I love
Oh,
it. It's
dude.
so cool.
Oh,
Honestly,
dude.
Lauren's probably going to leave me if I watch too much more of it. Actually, I think I will. I think I'll. Yeah, I think I've got some. Like I said, I've got some serious chick flick time coming up now.
I'll tell you what, my ultimate fantasy is on the same day they show up, they bring out a big a Sasquatch or Bigfoot,
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
UFO and an alien, and then the Loch Ness monster. They put it in a big tank somewhere, and I can go pet it and swim with it and do all that good stuff. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
also, if they do have aliens, then the Pro League will probably make a class for them as well.
ah, or maybe a whole bunch of classes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was a good one.
What,
Good one.
what would the two classes be then? What would the
Grays, and what's the other kind of
Grays? Yeah.
grays and reptilians? Yeah.
Right. Okay. Time for the reptilian class now.
Two main kind of aliens that they always talk about, grays and reptilians. So yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. All right. Well, that is going to do it. We wrapped it up with some weird shit, but that's what we do here. Texas Pro. We're very, very much looking forward to Texas Pro. Freddie and Sheila, have a great promotion. We're all going to be watching. So join us Friday and Saturday, guys. I'm going to be giving you live updates, putting your notifications on your phone as
Okay.
well as on YouTube. So you know when we're coming out with that. And I'll get the news to you lickety split, as we say. Giles Tiger Thomas, recover, get your full energy and strength back. We need
I
you.
will. I will. Don't
And
worry.
this is going to air after. So check out the Global Muscle with it was Nate Spear
Yep.
and was it Nasser? Who's the other
That's
guy?
Syed who won the 212. He was seventh in 2021 at Olympia. He's from Kuwait. Do you know what? Right, get this right. He competed on the Saturday in London.
Mhm.
Then he went to the gym in London. He was telling me some gym he told me. I forgot the name of it.
Mhm.
Flew home to Kuwait, and then when I interviewed him, he just trained. He'd only been back a few hours, gone to the gym, and then he jumped in his car with his coach and interviewed with me. I was
Wow.
like, you've done like a hell of a, you've trained twice, you've traveled, and you've won a show all in the space of about 28 hours.
Oh,
I mean, and he's like, and he says, now, I said, you're going to take any time off? He says, no, my coach allowed me
wow.
one cheat meal, and now we have 12-week prep for the Olympia. I was like,
Wow.
I didn't take a week off or off your diet or, and they said, no, we'll give him a bit of a rebound. He says, but we're not going to, we've got things we need to bring up in his physique and that we can do in 12 weeks, his hamstrings and his glutes. And, we had feedback from the judges and we want to get him back up because he got 7th in 21, 12th in 22, and they want to get him back up into the top 6. So he's really, really good, actually. He's a nice guy as well. I really enjoyed talking to him. And also Nate Spear was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Nate's a good dude. Yeah.
Good guy. Yeah.
I'd like to claim him from Massachusetts, but he's actually from New Hampshire. Doggone it. Oh well. But
And
yeah, cool guy.
he's moved to Clearwater.
Ah, not another one. Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, everyone from the East Coast ends up going down to Florida. It's ridiculous. Ugh,
Yeah.
it's like a cliche now. Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, congrats, Nate. Much better weather. Are you looking for the hedgehog? He's out there somewhere.
No, somebody's knocking at my door, and I don't know why.
Well, I better let you go. So,
Yeah.
guys, thanks for watching this episode of MD Power Hour with Giles, Tiger Thomas, and me. Our coverage, our preview of the Texas Pro. Check it out, and we'll see you next time. Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.